from Cheap Homesteading, and today we're working on the front dozer blade project on the Massey 50. If you've been around the channel for a bit, you've seen me working on and off on my dozer blade for my Massey, and it turned out to be a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. But today's the day. I feel like we've got to a point where I can finish the welding and we can throw a quick coat of paint on it, because if I don't get it painted this weekend, it's probably going to be too cold any weekend after this, because we're just running out of time. In reality, it could snow any day, so today's the day. We got to get this thing finished and painted, so let's go. So last weekend I got the blade pretty much welded up in place, just to make sure everything's working. There's a few little things I have to nip this off so we can pivot a little bit farther. Another thing I got to do is put some hose hangers here. And then I'm going to clean up the subframe with a wire brush or something, and then we're going to try to paint this thing. I need to get it painted because time is against me. Winter is coming, so let's get at it. I have it ground down, make it look a little bit better. I'm going to remove the blade now, and then we're going to try to tip the blade up. I'll finish my welding, and then hopefully we can just get into painting before it starts raining. It rained last night, all night long, and I'm like, man, I hope I can get this done. Okay, here's the bottom of the blade. That's pretty good. There's a few little cracks here we're going to touch up. I got quite a bit of welding down in here just to finish up. And then the final welding is pretty much complete. The way I made the blade, the support brackets kind of interfere with the pin, so I had to put the pin up from the bottom, and I don't like doing that because if you ever knock the clip out, the pin falls out, which isn't great because you could pick it up with your blower or whatever. So what I think I'm going to do is weld a little bit of a chain to it so I can't lose it. Okay, so I got the welding done, and I'm going to just mix the paint and paint this thing quick because this day isn't looking very good. I don't know if it's going to rain or what it is, so I need to get some paint on this blade. So the paint I'm using is tremclad Fire Engine Red. I know a lot of people use Rust-Oleum. I don't know if Rust-Oleum's like a big thing in the States. Tremclad was a big brand in Canada, so who knows, it's probably the same paint even. So there you go, it's fire engine red. I think that's gonna look good. I know you're supposed to use a filter, but I don't have that and I don't have any time. So we're gonna see how this thing turns out. As you can see, the sprayer didn't work. So I really need to get something done. So we're down to the brush. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, because I need to get this project done. I had a sprayer around for a long time and I guess it wasn't cleaned out properly or whatever, and it was plugged up, and I'm running out of day to do this, so we're just gonna have to paint it. Tremclad paint covers very, very well. It'll probably take a couple coats, but the rust paint that was always very popular here was tremclad, so I wonder if do they have tremclad paint in the US? Wow, this is like not the prettiest for sure. Maybe if I get a few coats on it, it's gonna look a lot better, but right now it doesn't look the greatest, I have to say. And it doesn't help that I'm kind of in a rush against the weather. So there you go, I got the first coat on the blade. You know what, I had great plans of using the air gun, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, and I need to finish this. And you know what, it actually came out pretty nice with just the brush. So I'm gonna tip it down now, and then I'm gonna touch up any spot that I can see from the top to make it look extra pretty, but I think I'm done with that. Okay, so I painted the blade by hand. I think it came out pretty decent. It's not perfect by any means, but it definitely looks a lot better than it did. I am running out of time today, big time. I had plans on plugging these holes and everything, but I kind of feel like I just gotta clean up the best I can the subframe and paint it, just to have a coat on it, because I'm just never going to get this done if I just don't power through. Here is a very hastily painted subframe. It looks actually really good. I'm going to have to eventually finish welding that. I went a little bit crazy with the paintbrush, but it looks really, really good. I didn't paint under anything at the moment. I'll have to go back and do that. But I just wanted to get the main portion of the frame painted. Somehow I got to get this back on the tractor so I can drive it into the barn. So it has a chance to dry in case it starts raining or something and wreck the finish. But it really does look really, really nice. Definitely makes it look a lot better. So there you go, it is done. The day is over. It got dark very quickly. You don't have much evening anymore, but it's looking real good. It really does need to be touched up again at some point, but at least I got the first real coat on the blade, and I think it looks pretty good for brushing it on. Today didn't go quite like I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to go way faster. It was raining in the morning, so I really didn't know how much I could get done. But you know what? I got quite a bit of it done. I tried to paint it with the air painter, but that just didn't work. And you know what? I'm so glad that I went out and I just used a paintbrush because it came out pretty darn good. It looks really, really good. So you know what? You could probably tell that it's been put on with a brush, but it looks good. It definitely will coat the metal, keep it from rusting. So I'm pretty happy with that. But I got to clean up and I'm going in. So that's about enough for today. You guys have a good one.